Radio.
New York City, we back. The Big Apple, NY. The Knicks are back. Staten Mellow. This dedicated to my city. For kings in the court, reach for the ball, a hard lesson gets taught. So bring your skills to the nearest playground. No clown around, catch a helmet in a minute on a New York playground. The Big Apple's what they call it for short. And basketball is our sport. We play for keeps and never settle for sure. So bring your game when you come to my town. We snatch a crowd, you get embarrassed on the court after you shook to the ground. You get respected when you prove you get down. So say the joke for the clowns, and NYC we known to go a few rounds. This is the city where you're forced to go hard. You'll get booed out of Dodge and shown the door being the weakest on squads. Rucker Park and summer nights they stay live. Brothers play for the pride and bragging rights on who's the king of NY. So grab the pill and prepare to go hard. Pick your 12-man squad. Orange and blue better believe we go hard. This for my city, New York City where it's gritty. Yeah. For my city, never pretty. New York City, sing it with me. Yeah. For my city, New York City where it's gritty. NYC, for my city, never pretty. Yeah. New York City, sing it with me.
New York City, sing it with me. Still's the great J. Remy. I'm about to get Hardwell on the check-in. You know what I'm saying? I forgot to send him the link. Boy, I'm doing too much. out here. J. Remy, what's good, bro? How's everything?
Everything good, man. Everything good. I'm blessed. I'm grateful to be here, man.
That's why I sent them the link. You know what I'm saying? For real. Shout out to Shaw Legacy. Shout out to Project Nerd. I see y'all for real, man. You know what it is. Monday, 10 to 11, every Monday. Knicks Talk Nation Radio. You know what I mean? Featuring myself, my co-host Hardwell. And now we got a new addition to the family, J. Remy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mike Ray. I see you too, champ. You know what I mean? You know the number never changes, 516-206-0711 if you want to chime in and give your point of view on what we talking about today. But, you know what I mean? Before we get into all that, Remy, man, how was your week, man? How was your weekend? Heading into Monday, man.
My weekend was beautiful. I started seeing a nice new lady friend.
Okay.
We spent the evening together on Saturday, had a good day on Sunday.
Okay.
Hurricane Henry, we was prepared.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you was prepared.
And my mom's and my son was up in New England for a week, so they just got back this morning, so I'm glad they back here safe and sound.
No question. That sounds like you got a good weekend, bro. So, you know, you was trapped in the crib. The weather was kind of nasty outside. Who knows what was going on inside? You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, we
watched Freddy versus Jason. I never saw that before.
Nah, I'm not. You know, I ain't even gonna hold you, Remy. I ain't even into that stuff, man. For real, man.
Me neither. But it was her show. Whatever she wanted.
It was whatever she wanted. I dig it. Word up, man. For real, man. As for me, man, you know what I'm saying? Salute the Knights. I see you, champ. Word up, man. Shout out to For the Love of the Game podcast on the check-in, man. I see y'all showing love for real. Word up, man. But as far as for me, man, you know what I mean? I was supposed to have my 200th episode, man, of the Bars and Hoops radio show. You know what I mean? We had 200. We had 200 episodes. We ain't talking about Knicks Talk Nation. I ain't talking about the Oddcast. I ain't talking about all the other shows. We got 200 solid episodes for the flagship show of the station. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? We were supposed to celebrate that this week, and I had a lot of artists lined up to come through the show love. I had a lot of people that played a major part in the development of, you know what I'm saying, the station and all of that, man. So I had all of those people lined up to come in, but, you know, the weather kind of threw that off, man. So I had to push that back, you know what I'm saying? But this weekend coming up, man, is the 200th episode. You know, Remy, you can always pull up because you came to the station one time with Tiny, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to have a lot of people there, man. I'm going to have a nice little spread. I'm going to have some liquor. Hardwell, I see you. Shout out to L, I see you. You know what I mean? I'm going to have a nice little spread. I'm going to have a lot of people, man, a lot of family there. Everybody that showed love and supported the brand from day one, they all going to be there, you know what I mean? And people that's trying to do, you know, business down the line as well, they all going to be there as well, man. So like I said, the door is open. It's going to be 200th episode. And we're going to be going for about 3 hours and maybe 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Last time I did it, we went 5 hours. I done had Superstar J, you know what I'm saying, Ali Vegas, you know, my man D. Anthony, you know what I'm saying? I had a lot of people in the building for 100, so 200 is going to be even bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to Balls and Hoops, man. For real. You know, 200, that's hard to get to, man. That ain't easy. That take a lot of hard work and dedication. Yeah. I'm happy for each and every one of y'all, man. For real. I'll definitely pull up and be there.
Good looking, man. It's a lot of work, man. It ain't just, you know what I'm saying? This started in the basement. You know what I mean? Like, one man show. I was just out there doing whatever. I ain't know what. My biggest interview when I first started was with Gus Johnson. You know what I mean? For those that don't know who Gus Johnson is, Gus Johnson famously caught Isaiah Thomas out there with the pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he was interviewing Isaiah Thomas, when we got Zach Randolph, Dan Dickow, and whatever, and when Spike Lee basically was like, yeah, we got Dan and we got Dick, and he was like, pause. that was Gus Johnson claimed the fame as a Knicks announcer. And I think after that, MSG was like, yo, nah, can't. You know what I mean? Shout out to Mike Ray. That's right, Mike Ray. That's my big homie. You know what I'm saying? He definitely played a major role in what Bars and Hoops Radio is today. And I'll tell everybody that till I'm facing the blue, man. He gonna be in the building as well, man. But, you know, fellas, without any further ado, Will, talk about it, man.
Will, my guy.
How was your weekend,
Yeah, my weekend was good. I just want to say, based on what y'all was speaking of, man, shout out to Bars and Hoops. I'm happy to be a part of what we do, what we bring here, the content. You know, it's not easy. We had those conversations a lot about, you know, how I work. I like to stick to the grind and, you know, even on things that I do outside, you know what I mean? And as far as from like having a regular gig, running companies, it take a lot of hard work and consistency. And I always try to give you credit for that because I do the same thing. A lot of people don't know how hard it is because they don't do it. They don't achieve the same things. And I always find time to say, yo, keep working. You know that. So congratulations again. And we're going to keep bringing good content because all you do is get better and more people start to realize your work. It's just like in music. When you put out a lot of work early on and you don't get on, then you finally get that one record that people go back and listen to all your stuff. So you're never supposed to really think that, you know, you working for no reason because that's not the case. And even when you leave here sometime, when it's your time to go, a lot of people start listening to your stuff. But regardless, you're going to be heard. And, you know, like I said, my weekend was cool. Can't complain. You know, little bit of crazy rain yesterday. Besides that, my regular training and, you know, staying out the way. That's the key to right now, you know. You got to stay out the way with the COVID and everything that's going on. You got to just stay humble and stay out the way.
Oh, yeah, and I'm on the front lines now. You know, things changed for me these past couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? A lot has transpired in my personal life, man. But, you know, it don't stop the show. You know what I'm saying? I did get a new V. That made me feel good. It put me in a new space. You know what I'm saying?
That's
but
nice.
It's all good, man. That's neither here.
Congratulations on that, too. That's
appreciate that. Word up, man.
That's very nice, brother.
You see that RT coming down the highway, that big boy moving, you know what I mean? That Hemi engine rev different, you know what I mean? Word up. That's a whole nother story, man, for real, man. But let's talk about what's going on with the Knicks right now, man. The season schedule was released over the weekend, and you know what I'm saying? It's looking like, you know, the NBA gods, the basketball gods is starting to give the Knicks their props and the credit that they deserve, man. What does y'all think when y'all seen the schedule? Or did you see the schedule yet?
I really didn't see. I didn't see that much. I heard a little bit about it. And I like just how you said the guards, because I think that's really what it is. It's our time now for some reason. We got to get that ball bounce. But, yeah, I ain't see the schedule really.
I saw the Christmas Day schedule. But I didn't take a peek at the full schedule. But I saw the Christmas. We played the Hawks on Christmas Day.
We played the Hawks on Christmas Day, you know what I'm saying, which is a Saturday. We played them at 12 noon. That's ESPN, by the way. It's played on ESPN, you know what I'm saying? And to speak about nationally televised games, the Knicks have 22 nationally televised games this season.
22.
Ooh, two. I ain't stutter. 22 nationally televised games. That means the nationally televised games, ESPN, TNT, ABC, and they also play. I ain't even count the NBA TV games. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't get that here in New York. But the big games is ABC, ESPN, and TNT. And the Knicks got 22 of those. What's your thoughts on that?
The Knicks are back.
Shout out! I wish I had that Amari Stoudemire drop. You know what I mean? The Knicks are definitely back, man. So y'all want to? I'm gonna just run down the games in slots of 10, and y'all tell me what y'all think, man. So the first, shout out to Project Nerd. He said, yeah, he sees at least 45 to 50 wins easy, and I also have 50 on the nose. You know what I'm saying? I may be stretching. I know Hall will gonna be like, oh, come on, you're doing this again. And last year we was
you hit it last time on the head.
So this year I got 50. I got 50 on the nose, 50 and 32, fifth place in the East. So,
but still, you gotta quote Project Nerd on the entire statement. Look at the second part of what he said.
He said Robinson, most improved player. I don't know, champ. Project Nerd. I don't know.
That's why he put the LOL.
That's how Will, man. You know what I'm saying?
He put the LOL.
Yeah, he definitely did for real.
Because we was making jokes yesterday. It was a big thing about who was better, Clint Capella or Mitch. And Mitch is on my team, but I just said Clint is better right now because of what he's accomplished and everything. And some people was trying to fight for Mitch. And I'm like, yo, I love Mitch. You know what I'm saying? He just injured a lot. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's all. Yeah. I love him though. You know what I'm saying?
And y'all see, I'm gonna save that. Go ahead.
Right. So just to give you an idea what the first 10 games look like. So opening night, we play at home versus the Boston Celtics. Mm-hmm. To me, that's a W. I don't know what y'all think. That's a W for me. Opening night, Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier against the Celtics, the W. The next 2 games, back-to-back against Orlando, in Orlando, then at home. Then the 4th game of the season against Philly, at home. The 5th game of the season is at Chicago. The 6th game of the season is at New Orleans. The 7th game is at home against Toronto. The 8th game is against Indiana. The 9th game is against Milwaukee at home at Milwaukee, and the 10th game is at home against Cleveland. So that's a favorable schedule out the gate for the first 10.
About time.
You said it's about time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's generous. That's generous.
That's generous.
Right?
Yeah.
7-3 out the gate.
The Lakers been getting that forever. But I feel like I'm gonna keep it real with you though. I feel like even if we didn't get these new players that we got, it wasn't gonna be as easy for us as it was last year. Now let me tell y'all why. Once you on the scouting report now, and once they looking out for you, it changes the dynamic of your win percentage, because now teams always want to come to the Garden and win, right? But now it's going to be even more crazy, because you know why? They want to beat the Knicks. Before, everybody just thought the Knicks was nothing. We could just wash the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? So when you coming into a dogfight and you already think you're going to wash your team, that's how the Knicks did so good last year, to my opinion. Not taking no credit from them because they balled out.
Yes.
But Randall never did that before. Let's be clear.
Yes.
All the players that did what they did, nobody seen this coming. So we got to be honest about that. Now they expecting the Knicks to do good. It's going to be much harder to do what we did last season.
Oh, that's my point. I agree with that, because that's a good point. You know, people always want to come to the Garden and put on a show, but now it's I want to go to the Garden, put on a show, and I want to beat the Knicks too. And that's a good point.
Because we beat a lot of people. We had 8 games. We had a big streak after the playoffs when everybody was making their runs to push for positioning in the playoffs. So when you take all that into consideration, that's not easy really to do, you know. And I was giving credit for them. Me and Stills was talking about this. Yeah. That's really tough to do. And now teams are woke and they ready for them, bro. So but we got help now, so it's gonna be a battle. I think it's gonna be close. Yeah, a lot of games.
And shout out to Nice. He's basically said that teams. He said that we're still under the radar, and teams still don't see us like a great team that we will be, and that'll be their downfall for real. Shout out to
that's true. You know why that's true, Stills?
Talk Nation. Who's this?
Mike Ray.
Mike Ray, what's up,
Mike
champ?
Ray.
What's good? What's good, my brothers? What's
Ain't-
good, Hardwell? Ram?
What's
What's good, bro?
Talk about it, Mike.
Yo, listen, I just heard you breaking that schedule down.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to get in on that while you was breaking it down.
Let's go. You want me to recap it? You want me to run it back from the top?
Let me get a quickie. I mean, I had went through some of it.
Uh-huh.
I had saw the 22 nationally televised games.
Yes.
I saw the 7 NBA TV games.
Yes.
So it brings it to like 29 national televised games.
Yes. All together with NBA TV.
Right. Man, I ain't seen nothing like that for the Knicks since. So yeah, but give me a run back.
All right, so opening night, Boston. The game after that, it's a back-to-back against Orlando, home and home.
W.
Fourth game,
2-0.
well, then they play again, and again they play at home in Orlando. I mean, they play in Orlando at game number 2. Third game, they home against Orlando.
I'll be generous. 2-1.
Okay. The fourth game of the season, Philadelphia.
W.
Fifth game, Chicago, in Chicago.
W.
In New Orleans.
W.
Home for Toronto.
W.
At Indiana.
W.
At Milwaukee.
We taking an L.
And home against Cleveland.
W.
It's easy 7-3.
Easy.
Somebody wrote that.
6-4, worst
Somebody
case
wrote that.
Worst case scenario, huh?
Somebody wrote that. I think L wrote 7-3.
Yep, L definitely wrote that down. 7-3. I got that same way too, man. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's I not to be, because I know we Knicks fans, we love our team.
Go ahead,
But
kid.
I think it's reference to what we said about the schedule, how things are starting to look better in those type of ways, right? Even we talked about ball bounces. I believe in all of that because games be so close, and the Knicks have been getting those type of bounces. You know what I mean? But some of them games is going to be close, and we may not win all of them. But that's not going to take away from who we are and what we're going to be, because we have to lose some games in order to be really good anyway, too. You know what I mean? And some close games as well. That's my take on it. I don't think we're gonna get every one of those. The closer ones, like certain teams you mentioned, I don't know how that's gonna go. Most of them, yeah.
But here's something that I think that you probably that you overlooking. They bringing back their core team. They didn't really do much in the off season, and they upgraded their backcourt. So they're not really. Julius Randle's still here. RJ's still here. You know what I mean? Mitch, Nerlens Noel. The only additions is Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier. We still got Derrick Rose. We brought back Alec Burke. So we bring it back basically the same team. We just upgraded our backcourt, and we got stud rookies.
That's my point, though. The rookie part is going to change the dynamic, but we didn't really do too much. But I always said that was good for me because I didn't want to change what we had. But you still have to look at the East and what's around. Okay, Orlando ain't looking too good. Toronto ain't looking too good. It's a few teams we can say ain't looking too good, but the rest of all them teams is good. Let's be honest.
I think Chicago's gonna fly under the radar.
Chicago's good. Philly's good.
Yes, they got.
You name some teams, bro. That's gonna be good too.
I think Orlando's gonna be a couple of dog fights. Like I truly feel I agree with what Hartwell said. I think that we didn't do a lot in free agency, but going back to the last show, we just talked about what the kind of rookies we have and how much of an impact they can make, not only coming off the bench, but maybe one or two of them being in the starting lineup. I think that's going to make a big difference as far as how they gelled in the beginning of the season. And like Will said, some of those games is going to be close games and going to be dogfights. I don't necessarily know if the youth is going to push us to win those games versus losing with learning new lessons on getting closer to winning. So
you're gonna have to learn.
I don't think it's an easy 7-3. I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah, we're gonna have to learn. And one more thing, Stills. Look, another problem, Stills. Another problem is gonna be that we're gonna think that Obi supposed to get more time. That's gonna be the biggest gripe. Let me tell you what. Before I get you too excited, this is what I want to say. They paid Randall, and they're gonna go on his hand because they did it in the playoffs. When Tibbs should have told that boy to get a ball to Obi, he kept letting Randall do that. So hopefully this year we learn from that, and they let Obi go off. That might be a problem. Stills.
It's not gonna be no problem. And shout out to Sean
They
Lucky.
can't both go off at the same time all the time. I don't think they play the same position.
He said we already did all our losing. Mike, what's your take on that, Mike?
Yeah, Stills don't want to answer.
Nah, I'm gonna answer that. Oh well, I'm gonna answer that.
I gotta disagree with the assessment
of what? Of from who?
And here's why. As you play games, or now we got a season under the belt, you bring a team back, everybody gets a little bit better, everybody scouts your weaknesses. I know we only made 2 changes, but we made 2 small yet substantial changes. So if you went into a game plan previously saying to yourself, Randall's their man, make sure he don't kick out the bullock in the corner, and we can live with everybody else. Going into this season, that's not the case.
Yeah.
You can't throw 2 men at almost anybody on that starting 5.
That's a fact.
Because when they move the ball back around, there's a killer who getting the ball when it spins back around. Kemba, killer. Fournier, gonna make you earn it.
That's a fact.
Randall can pass out of the post, so you don't want to double down in the post because of who he's swinging it to.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody peeped, but Fournier, if it's last year or the year before, was 52.1% from the corner 3.
Yeah.
That's a big upgrade.
And if he ain't feeling it, he don't have to let Randall repost. If he swings it one more time, it's Kemba at the top of the key. He's a stone cold, cold-blooded killer from the top of the key.
Yes, he improved.
So now all of a sudden you don't double. You got to be selective with who you double. So now if your third option becomes RJ, well, dude shot 40% from the 3. So he's almost guaranteed to see a one-on-one on someone he can bully ball.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a starting 5 that could potentially give you 80 to 90 points a game.
Yes.
Just from your starting 5.
Yeah.
That's not the same starting 5 from last year.
That's a fact.
So teams going to have to retool.
That's a fact. Now, go ahead, Hardwell, before I answer.
I just was going to say he didn't say nothing about Obi topping.
All right, so hold on.
That was my thing for you, just to show you his whole plan, the scheme, all of that stuff. No Obi mention.
Hold on. So
you know why? The team is Randall. They brought in. They want to. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you.
Stills, you answer that, but I got a point to make when you're done.
Go ahead.
Right, Rim? Tell
him. Listen, y'all laughing. Don't worry, and I ain't gonna have none of y'all on here when I had Obi on the show. Because y'all ain't gonna be disrespecting that man.
Hold on.
You ain't gonna be disrespecting my man. You ain't gonna be disrespecting my man in his face.
I love Obi. Wow.
Because you're talking about he ain't gonna play. What are you crazy?
No, I didn't say that.
Nah, he said he didn't mention him.
I say he didn't mention him. Don't try to twist my words.
I told y'all this, man, and you gotta remember this, man. Julius Randle, he signed that friendly deal for a reason, because he know at the end of the day, it's thin ice. It's thin ice.
He tried to help us. I don't think it was.
He's doing everything in his power to stay because he wants to stay. He's seen what playing in New York City at a high level can do
best
for his career.
Yeah.
Yes,
I agree.
All of his career.
Yeah.
So, and Lawrence, you better stop that in the chat too. We won't end up muting you in a second. Till our Obi is good for 13 minutes a night. You crazy? Yeah. But listen. Now the key. All right. On all serious, the keys to this season is going to depend on. The main thing is, can Julius Randle duplicate the season that he had last year? I don't think that he's going to duplicate the season that he had last year because we got more firepower on offense, and it's not going to call for him to play lights out like that again this year. He's gonna have to share the ball now. You know what I'm saying? Which means that his minutes are probably gonna go down, which means that Obi Toppin is going to get more minutes. They don't need to run Randall into the ground playing him 38, 40 minutes again. If Thibodeau does that, he's a fool. We got a deep team this year. We don't have to run Julius Randle into the ground. We don't have to run Derrick Rose into the ground. We don't have to run Kemba Walker into the ground. But the keys to this season is going to be the health of Mitch, the health of Rose, and the health of Kemba. You know what I'm saying? And RJ Barrett can step up this game.
And don't forget, like,
I agree with that.
What Mike Ray just said made me think about something, and it's something that Stephen A. Smith talks about a lot. And
let's go.
It's a big factor on the Knicks offense now. What last year was that defensive teams can just strictly know when Randall and RJ touch the ball, they're going left. They knew off the rip, they're going left every single time. And that was what, 24 and 18. That was 42 points a game last year out of them was RJ and Randall.
Yes.
So they knew 42 of those points was coming left.
Yes.
That defensively, that handicapped them. This year with a player like Kemba, with Obi feeling himself, with players like McBride and Jericho Sims that are going to be running around and jumping around and giving people fits from their energy and the way they play athletically. That's not going to be such a handicap. So I think it's automatically, even if they don't get better, you're still going to open up 4 to 10 points a game out of other people off the fact that they're not going to have to get to that hole no matter what. They can dish the ball more and not pull into the defense's lap like that.
So, fellas, you just heard what Remy said, right? Y'all just heard what Remy said, right? Yeah. He said Grimes and McBride. I didn't hear not one of y'all, including myself, mention quickly.
Nah, but I said that last time when we said it's going to be about his minutes now because he's caught up. Now,
he may get the minutes.
Now, listen, you know where he has a problem at? He can't play the point, and he can't he's not much as a two-way player as those guys, and they're very young. And I talked about this recently because these drafts change from here and there, where you get subpar drafts, and then you get drafts like we just got. Jalen Green, you know what I'm saying? The Cade, McBride. It's a lot of talent in this, so you got to pay more attention. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, you can keep the list goes on, right?
Yeah.
So my point is, this is when those guys that haven't been doing nothing is going to have a lot of problems. But the upside to our Knicks team is that our practices are going to be dynamic. Because when Obi and Randall got to go at it for those minutes, that's gonna be crazy. When Rose and them dudes and all them different dudes that's on that team playing against each other, that's what makes a real good team. If you think back of winning teams, they had good benches who they could have been a starting five on other teams. You know what I mean? They could have been starting on other teams, most of those players.
And salute to
Robert. Have that as a team, you're dangerous. And I know we have that. And I think team ball is so much back in style that that's our upside. But it's a lot of competition in the East.
Oh, yeah. It's a whole lot of competition, man. Mike, what you think
going
about
in the right direction?
I think that I know the reason why I didn't mention quickly
or Obi.
Reason that I didn't mention.
Or Obi.
And
he was at the summer league. Stills. He was at the summer league.
Will ain't right.
Listen, first of all, I'm an Obi fan.
Let's go.
Right.
Don't make me call his pops.
I'm also
Obi is my man. You know I'm not. I'm just saying. Obi killed in the summer league.
So I didn't mention them just in part because we already know what they are.
Yeah,
you gave a plan, Mike. Mike, you gave a plan, Mike.
All you have to see is 18 minutes a game from Obi.
Okay.
That second unit, whether it's Rose, Quickly, Burks, Obi, Nerlin, or some diversification thereof between Grimes and McBride. That second unit is going to do something a Knicks team hasn't done in a long time, and that's run.
Yeah,
Them dudes is about to run.
I can't wait.
And how that's going to work for people like Quickly is all he's going to have to do is go to a spot. That's it. Because Obi is going to be filling the lane. If it's Sims, he's going to be filling the lane. Mm-hmm. So D-Rose is going to either, or McBride are going to have two options. Throw it to the sky or swing it to the wing. They're going to run. So that's not asking them to do more than what they're capable of doing, which is what you usually ask from your starters. You usually ask them to go over and above. Your bench is usually role players. Now, you want them to excel at their role, but I'm not asking Obi to be the second coming of Tim Duncan. I'm asking him to be the first coming of Obi Toppin.
I disagree.
And it's not bottled up on the bench. He has to play.
Yeah, I disagree. 18
I never seen Tibbs play that deep in his bench.
No, 18 minutes a game from Obi. That's not doing him justice.
Exactly. He was drafted at that position, at that number for a reason. It wasn't to be playing
30 minutes a game.
Yo, Rim. That's why I brought it up, Rim. If you remember where it started.
Shout out to Project Nerd.
Salute, guys.
Yep.
Rim, I brought it up because Stills know we always joke about that. They picked Obi because they didn't expect Randall to do what he did, and now they got caught in that position. You see? And I always say this. At the rate Obi doing it, you're supposed to go at the rate, meaning how fast he's playing this well in the playoffs. It took Julius Randle a while to even do what he did on this Knicks season, and this is what I think our team got to look more at, and they will now that when they look at these new rookies and see how fast their progression is. That's what they look at.
They got dogs.
That changed the dynamic, bro. And whoever's not going fast in that way is going to get left behind, especially if you've been there for a little while.
Yeah.
Saying. Word. Shout out to Project No. What's happening, champ? Talk about it.
Chilling, my guys. Salute to y'all fellas. Thank you for having me on. But, if I could, I would love to be a fly in the room when Knicks training camp was to start. If there's somewhere, still, I'm not sure how you can make it happen, get a camera somewhere, baby, so we can see that footage.
That open practice is going to have 16,000 people.
Oh, yeah. And we forgot to mention Taj Gibson is back, too. So, they did a lot, man. And, I'm a line Taj up, too, man. You know what I mean? I got to reach out to Pete and get Taj on here as well, man. But they got a lot of players. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's going to be very competitive. But I ultimately think, and this is the elephant in the room, this team that's starting the season ain't going to be the same team that ends the season. They added all these players for a reason.
It's too crowded, right?
It's too crowded. There's too many people that's overlapping.
I agree.
And right now, it's about matching money to get big stars. And we signed some healthy deals to some decent players that we can throw in a package to get who we really want.
And Stills, I need to talk about it real quick.
Let's go, Ram. Talk about it.
You know how I feel about them even touching this roster. I think they, unless they get Dame at all costs, it's not worth it. But the rumor mill today in the Daily News is that the big splash they're looking to make right now is to make us trade for Andrew Wiggins.
Oh no, you gotta be kidding. Wait, what?
You could have kept that one, Remy. You could have kept that one.
The Knicks got one roster spot for one Canadian. That's
he could have kept that in his wallet.
He said we only got one roster spot.
I heard that too, Ram.
I'm talking about it. You know why?
Why?
Y'all keep talking about this trade stuff with them, man. So
I'm
talk about every trade that pops up.
Yo, Rim,
I don't want that.
Going
I do
too
not
far.
want that.
Nah, that
was a good one.
That was a good one to get me riled up.
The Knicks, they got one roster spot for one Canadian. We only need one Canadian on the Knicks. That's it.
The last roster spot was to Bacon.
Yeah, look.
We forgot about him.
Bacon is all right.
This is what I'm saying.
He played with Kemba Walker in Charlotte, and then you got to remember what I was going to say. Fournier and Kemba played well together. So what's going to happen is, if you're not consistent with your shot, it's going to be just next man up. Let's just be realistic until they do make a move. Because Steele's got a good point. The reason he's saying it's stacked up wrong because there's too many players that play the same position. And that's where the problem is. And when the new guys coming in is already going to have a fast production. See, what's going to change it? They guarding up. Some of them other guys didn't guard up like McBride. So Tibbs loved those type of players like a Jimmy Butler that could score and play defense. So we lean in that way. Now, the only reason we're going to get off of that, like he said, if they trade for a superstar. But that's what we lean into right now.
Yeah, but think about, but I don't understand how we're talking about coming from, because we still keep talking about the move before the move before the move before the move.
No, Rim, I agree with you, Rim. I don't want to do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like last year, the problem was we had 17 forwards on the team, and they was about to have Thibodeau himself bringing the ball up the court as the point guard. That was the problem last year. Now we got guards that's looking nice and sexy. We got Kemba that I personally think if he's healthy, he's gonna light the Garden on fire. That's my personal opinion. If he could stay healthy. We're the opposite of the problem we had last year. We had too many forwards last year. It was about 27,000 of them, about just as many seats as in the Garden. Now we have a decent amount of forwards. I mean, now we have a decent amount of guards with some young legs, and it's like, why mess with that?
Because we need a superstar. We need a star.
Let me get
Go ahead, Mike. Let's go, Mike.
Good.
Listen, I agree with your philosophy. However, there's an asterisk. The asterisk is we get to the end of January, right at the trade deadline. If the Knicks are sitting there like 21-11, 19-13, and they cooking, ain't nobody going nowhere.
What?
And I say that I'm not worried about that glut at guard because between Kemba, D Rose, Burks, Fournier to a small degree, ain't none of them dudes 82 games a year. All them dudes are miss 10 games minimum per year. So your depth is perfect because everybody's going to get burned because there's going to be a Fournier out for 10 games. There's going to be a Burks out for soft tissue injury, total of 20 games. He'd be the first one to catch COVID 27.
He got a point with that. He got a point with that. I ain't even think about that. You're right about that.
He said COVID 27. My man.
You're looking at it from a point where don't worry about it, young. And Mitch, you talking about a dude that broke his foot, got plates and screws.
Oh my God.
But in the process, remember, he broke that foot at 7'1", 240. Now he's 7'1", 270.
Yeah, now he's bigger.
Now he's going to put on a minimum of 30 more pounds. I don't care if it's muscle. I don't care if he got recycled cans and bottles in his pocket. He put on 30 more pounds on a fragile foot. So you could easily be seeing Sims getting burned.
Boy.
Or you could see, if I see any deal, I see Mitch, maybe 2 or 3 second rounders. Remember, we got 61 of them between now and 2025.
Facts.
Right? Maybe 4 of those.
Yes.
Dallas is number 1.
Yes.
Our number 1.
Yes.
Since you can't give away number 1s in back-to-back seasons.
Nope.
But we got somebody else's 1. So technically we could give away number 1 consecutive seasons because one of them isn't ours.
That's right.
And don't be surprised if you see anybody in here, it's going to be Carl Anthony Towns.
Why you?
Oh God, Mike, you're gone too far. Now, Mike. Just to address what you said. If they 21-11, they are gonna make a move because they're not winning the championship this year with this roster. Let's be honest.
Y'all keep wishing that y'all gonna end up with Carl Anthony Towns.
I wanted to say something.
No.
Yeah, I know, but both
not
were
gonna win.
Wiggins and Towns.
No.
Stills,
Oh, go ahead, Hardwell.
Oh,
Go ahead.
God.
Stills,
Go ahead.
look, watch this. Stills,
Reuniting with Tibbs.
Stills.
Yeah,
You know I don't just always agree with you,
Yes.
but you convinced me on this before, and I'm gonna bring it up again.
Uh-huh.
When it's that many players in the same position, he said we can make some moves and still have a good team, which is a fact. If that's what they doing, y'all gonna turn around and be like, "Oh shit, we still got such and such and such and such, and we got such and such."
This is what I'm saying.
That's what they could be setting up for. And he said that, and I'm like, "Yo, when you got this many players and you keep picking up in the same position, it just don't make sense."
Come on.
That's why I was making fun of. He didn't mention Obi. He didn't mention Quickly.
Hold on, I gotta make a point.
That's a fact, Stills.
Hold on, I gotta make a point. Real quick.
Yo, he didn't mention the main dudes that y'all love, bro. Yo, hold on. Last part is this. Look, one more thing, Rim.
And after you go ahead,
My man Ray, Mike went through his whole take.
Yes.
He gave a rundown of the plans and he did not mention them, bro. That's what to me was crazy. But the reason is because, like I just said, they're gonna make a move and we still gonna have maybe those players tucked to the side.
That's it.
Because they're gonna want our other players. Because we got that many players. And even if they want Obi and them, I'm just saying if they do, we still got McBride. We still got other pieces too, and we gonna be okay. That may be what we really up to, and that's what I wanted to say about it.
Go ahead, Remy.
All right, so I need like 40 seconds, real quick.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I know.
The point
And I know
I'm gonna
Project
make,
Nerd want to comment too.
the point I'm gonna make is you know what? I think I agree with what Will says. There's all joking aside, I agree with what both of y'all say about they can make upgrades and they can make trades that can improve this very team. But the fact of the matter is this: what Will said is a good point. Nobody mentioned the alpha dog that's in the making. And remember, Stills, I told you I hung out with a new lady friend this weekend, right?
Go shout
out to her. She's listening right now. Shout out to her. She's listening right now. The show came up. We was talking about the show, and she's like, "Oh, what do you talk about?" I'm like, "Oh, it's the Knicks Talk Radio show." She's like, "The Knicks?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I love Obi Toppin." The reason I said that is because any move they make, no matter what move they make this year, if it disrupts Obi Toppin's development and takes him down from 35 minutes a game to even 33 minutes a game, it's a problem. They need to let that dog be a dog and be the alpha of this team.
Listen, don't be surprised if Julius Randle is traded, man. It's a couple of things out there that we need to watch.
New York wants Obi balling. New York wants Obi balling on the Knicks.
Absolutely.
We need to watch the Pelicans because Zion is already unhappy out there, and he already made it known that he wants to play with his friend RJ here in New York. But I'm gonna just leave it to that. Project Nerd, I know you wanted to chime in.
Yeah, definitely. First of all, I love all your takes. All three of you guys, they were all spot on. With the Knicks, right, making a splash, we all want them to make that splash, that big time, get the superstar here. But when you take a look back and look at like the point guards or the centers, that where we need to upgrade, or small forwards, there's not that many people besides Dame. And besides, that's the only person that catches my attention. If you look at the top 10 centers, you got Embiid, you got Joker. Those teams aren't trading them.
Yeah, nah.
Bam Adebayo is not going to be traded. Utah is not trading Rudy Gobert. So the second tier is Clint Capella. So it's like, do we want to put all those chips for that? Nah, it's not worth it. So when you look at this Knicks roster, you said it earlier still, they made specific moves and got tradable contracts. If you take Nerlens Noel, which is $10 million. Then you take Burks, it's another $10 million. That's 20. You take Kevin Knox's contract is $6 million, 26. You take IQ, $3 million, that's 29. Then you take 2 first-round draft picks. Each draft pick is worth $8 million. That's $45 million right there for Dame. Make that move. And if you want to throw Kemba in it because Kemba had a good year to start it and you could give them something, boom. You could throw Kemba in there to make it better for them so they could flip it and get something for Kemba.
Thank you.
Yo.
And that's not even touching Obi. That's not touching the court. The only person we're gonna be touching is IQ.
Yes.
Yo.
Yes.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
That's why I said that's the possibilities.
He just sold me.
But hold on, look. what I
It's not,
think
and it's
too
not
is,
disrupting the
Will
team
can
that much.
confirm.
but
He's just so
We were in Vegas.
Yes,
The
sir.
thing-
Talk about it, Mike. Talk about it, Mike.
Grimes' defense makes quickly expendable,
Yes.
Absolutely.
right? So
And his
Grimes
shooting
may not
ability,
be
too.
the blow by. He might not have that blow by. I know a lot of dudes that ain't had a blow by. Reggie Miller ain't had no blow by.
Uh-huh.
But when he rolls up, you just went scuff. Right? That's Grimes. He plays D that quickly does it.
And I
So
can't
at
front.
this point, the report before was that the major piece that Portland wanted IQ. Well, IQ, sorry, bro.
Bye-bye.
I mean,
Bye-bye.
it was nice to
I'll
see
pay
you.
for your Uber.
Listen, man, I'm on disability. I got free time. I drive you to the airport.
yo, the thing with me is these
Uh-huh.
teams got to start looking at, like I keep saying it, the production rate, how fast, and they'll see. Then they don't got to play around with these players. Even Julius Randle, to me, could be traded fast because look how long it took him to do it. He this old and he's not even experienced for the playoffs yet. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to take credit from him because he got most improved player, but it's like about time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, fellas, you know, there's one thing none of us have mentioned that is a key to making people want to come here.
What's that?
How many national games we got on
20,
TV this year?
22. Well, 29 in total. 22 on the big stations.
Listen, I've been places in this country that only got NBA TV.
That's a fact.
So that's 29 nationally televised games.
Yes.
That's
Dame will
all
eat that up.
Yes.
Dame will eat that up. Dame will eat that up.
That's
and
one of the
was
things he
biggest thing.
complains about.
Yes.
He complains about that with Portland, that
Yes.
and he's into rap and he's into, so he doesn't really like the small market that they have over there. So that's why when they entertain it, I don't want to get hyped, but I'll be like, those are some possibilities that I know about for sure for myself.
And he don't like KD, so if he come, that's gonna be the perfect rivalry, bro. Like,
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
perfect.
It would be. And
I
one
seen
more
a
thing I want
Kyrie
to bring up.
Irving trade for Ben Simmons. I don't know how true it was, but I seen something like that.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I
I
said,
saw that,
it
but I
said
don't believe
either
it.
Dallas or Brooklyn might get Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
I don't want him on the Knicks.
One last thing I wanted to
Just
bring
to
up
change
is
the
that
subject.
it came up in the post yesterday or Saturday that Leon Rose made a statement that he's prepared to extend Mitchell Robinson. Now,
Yeah. It has to be the right price.
dude, yeah, it has to be the right price. They're looking
Wow.
at the dude from Boston's contract. They got what, 50, 55, 54,
56.
4 for 54.
Yeah, there you go. So they're
Okay.
looking at that and they're saying they'd be happy
Williams?
around that 36 to 40, 45 mark. Now,
Williams?
my question, yeah, Robert Williams.
Yeah,
Now, my question
Robert
is,
Williams.
would they be doing that to just get him cheap for a long period of time, or would they be doing that so the money's shored up to throw it in a contract for a trade?
Both.
Yeah, they're
I
gonna
mean,
get
think
rid of
about
him.
it. What has he really done?
Nothing.
What has he really done?
He's 30 pounds big and he's bragging about it.
He hasn't made a difference in the win column. You know what I'm saying? He's blocked a few shots. Don't get me wrong. He showed some promise. He was a second-round pick. Like, what has he really done to get big money?
Nothing.
You know the problem? You know the problem gonna be if he put on that weight. When you watch his footage, he was quick to, like, if he get caught in the pick and roll, he know how to. He's good off that. He's alert skills is good. That's how he used to get a lot of blocks. But if he put on that weight, you don't know if he's still going to be able to do that because these guys are fast. And if he's not moving the same way, he's not going to be able to keep up with guys moving around that pick. So they paying attention to that, just trying to give him a chance to get him for the low because it's not really worth it to keep being injured. I used to love him. I said it recently. He's basically one of those guys when guys used to come in the paint and see him and they'll think about it. They wasn't going to shoot when he was in there. And that to me was the epitome of what a Knick is. But if he's not staying consistent with his weight and stuff, that's not going to stay like that. And we know that realistically because that changes everything. So
30 pounds is a lot. And especially when you
yeah.
got Jericho Sims jumping from sideline to sideline. My boy could fly.
Seriously, I would say it would Mitchell Robinson be like this day and age version of like JaVale McGee when he first came into the league?
Exactly.
Nah,
Because JaVale McGee had all the tools,
I
all
didn't
the
even get to
talents.
see enough of Mitch yet to give him that much. Even though I
No,
didn't
but-
like
but we
JaVale,
all-
I had to
but-
respect JaVale.
But we all knew JaVale had the potential, and he didn't get that right until he went to Golden State.
Nah, he was on
Mitch-
Shaq and the
Three-time
Fool too
champion and
much
gold
for me.
medalist.
Exactly. He was on sack to the fool too much. We know he
For
had the
me,
potential.
I'm just
He
saying
couldn't
for
get
me,
it.
for
He
me
couldn't-
to
he
really
couldn't put it
respect him.
together.
But
Well-
then as I grew up and I seen that he knew how to block, early on he wasn't. See, you got to keep remembering what the point. What the point I made was the early production. He didn't show that, bro. He was a
No,
clown for
absolutely.
2 years, and he just had experience after a while. He knew how to play. His mother's an athlete. He come from athletes. You know what I'm saying?
I put that
But-
more on the Knicks though, bro, because it was a losing environment, right? So if you have a kid, right, who's a young kid, he ain't go to college. He did not play college ball. He had a year off for playing organized basketball. You cannot give a kid like that his own YouTube channel and be like, yo, go be the funny guy in the locker room, go make videos on YouTube, blah blah blah. And then when it's time to be serious, you
Should've
just
went to
take it
college
away
with
from
that
him and tell him to stop doing it. You know, so I put that more on the front office. But when Tibbs got into him and Tibbs told him, like, yo, you need to step it up, it took him a while, but he did. But he got injured. One thing I would say about his injury when it comes to his feet, right? Still and hard will. You know this from watching years and years of basketball. Same thing with rim. So yeah, I've been watching it. A big man who has big feet, 16, 17, 18, are going to have foot issues all the time.
a fact.
Mitchell Robinson is a size 13. So for a big man, he still got small feet. So that allows him to like move a lot better. He's not going to be suffering from those clown shoes that a lot of big centers suffer from.
Because he does move very
You
well.
know, Olajuwon.
Yes.
Team Olajuwon had smaller than average 7 footer feet.
That's a
But
fact.
not with that weight, Mike,
you know
right?
what the team shape look like?
But
That's
Mike,
a fact.
not with that weight. I don't even think Hakeem never, unless the end of his career, not that early on. He always stays slim and fit. Mitch
Right.
shit putting on that weight. I don't think that's good for
I
him.
think
Man.
He looks
at
more
this
muscle
point
than
in
anything.
time, a comp to Mitch is the 2013 to 2015 Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah, I
If
see
you
that.
That's
double
the
back
good one.
and look at Hassan Whiteside around that 2014, 2015, 2016 area,
Yeah.
he blocked shots for the Heat. He grabbed boards for the Heat.
Yes.
That's right when they got Goran Dragic. He let Dragic be Dragic, and whoever else they have piddling around. You know, what's his name? Gabriel Union's husband on his last leg. You know, half
Way.
ACL, half
Way.
ACL running around in his knee. That's Mitch right now. And the problem is when Pat Riley don't play no games.
Nah.
So when Riley was like, "All right, bye, off to Portland you go," that was it. It was Wild West tumbleweeds in the street.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's
a
Yeah, that's a good comparison, Hassan Whiteside. That's a really good comparison. But with the injury thing, I still, no matter your size in the NBA, yeah, the big men, the slim big men, you know, Yao Ming, Amari Stoudemire, you know, the bigger dudes, even Kevin Durant, they were worried about his feet for a little while, you know, before he proved his durability. In the NBA, if you're not durable, you're not durable, no matter if you're 5'11" or if you're 7'4". If you're not durable, you're not. If you're not available, you're not available. Period.
And
But
you know,
Mitch has already shown he's prone to injuries, and I'm worried about this last injury.
And this the thing,
Plus
man.
30 pounds. My bad.
back-to-back injury.
The thing about it is that what made me think that he's really expendable this year is the fact that he doesn't have a low post game. He doesn't have a game down low. You can't give him the ball and tell him to go to work. You know what I mean? So he's automatically a liability on offense.
Yeah, I saw a
you know-
stat. I saw a stat that says something like 89% of his points was on alley hoops and putbacks.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is what I mean.
We need to have one of our centers to either do one or the other. We can't have both centers be defensive anchors. Have one be a defensive anchor and have Jahlil Okafor coming off the bench to score as a center. I'm not saying him, but I'm just saying that type.
I mean, sometimes how teams is made, right? I mean, not saying you wouldn't want a dynamic center and a dynamic guard, right? But I could see what their vision is for Mitch. It's just a really dynamic defensive player. That's what Tibbs sees. Remember who the coach is. He breeds defense.
Yes.
So Tibbs sees that. This team is more Tibbs now. Even at the summer league, he stayed, watched the games, all of that stuff, So he's hand picking. I think if it wasn't for Tibbs, he probably wouldn't be even considered. But that size thing is going to be a problem. Because when he's slim, he like Marcus Camby size, even like Jakeem Noah. If you look at some of the defensive plays that he makes, Mitch, if you look at film of those guys, he looks like that. He makes them type of plays. And why I think he's a good fit for us, even though I say things I don't like about him, he is a good fit because he doesn't bring too much demanding of the ball. See, 100%. Why that's important is because we got too much talent already. And we said we didn't want to get too much to change it unless it's a Dame Lillard or somebody that could make up for that and still bring us to the promised land. Yeah. So we're going to make a move. We're going to make moves to win it, or we might as well build and win with what we have.
And what I'm saying? We got 4 minutes. Mike, I want you to just reiterate what you said last week about the difference between Jericho Sims and a Mitchell Robinson on offense. From setting picks
right
to
off
moving.
That.
Mm-hmm. We got 4
minutes. One of the main
minutes.
things that impressed me in summer league is that Mitch catch a rebound. Mitch go to the dotted, be that man in the middle of the buster zone, throw it to the next man. At no point in time will you ever see Mitch, if it ain't a dunk, point blank, 3 feet or less under the rim, make a move. What impressed me about Sims is 2 things. One, Sims already knows how to set a screen, right? He don't play peekaboo with the screen like Mitch does.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch playing pity pat on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This boy sets a screen like Taj sets a screen.
Yes.
Or Noel sets a screen. But offensively, what was impressive, and Will can confirm, because, he see it too, there was more than a dozen occasions by the time Summer League ended where if Sims got the ball, he tried his little hook shot.
Yes.
He might have turned around, took 2 dribbles, and tried to go to the lane.
Mm-hmm.
I see him rise up once for a 3. Hitting or missing is irrelevant. In the beginning, you want to see the effort and the desire to do something. It's always easier to take an aggressive person and tell them slow down than it is to take a passive person and tell them step it up. And that's the difference between Sims and Mitch. And to me, that's what makes Mitch expendable.
Yes. 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 And shout out to Shy Legacy, man. He said Mitch and Sims will be the future big men of this team. 2 athletic freaks of nature, man. That's a fact, man.
Yeah.
For real. Word, man. But one thing, man, before we go, man, we got to go back to Obi for a second. We got about 2 minutes, man. Will Obi get the minutes that he deserves this season?
No.
He's going to get 20.
20?
20.
Mike, you said no?
I say no.
Oh, God.
It's going to boil down to the
because I honestly believe he needs 30. He needs 20. Summer League showed me that boy needed at least 25 minutes. And I don't think, because Tibbs is a dude, Tibbs is one of them dudes, I roll with the chick that I came to the dance with.
That's right. And that's Julius Randle.
I'm on the phone with a group of players here who once upon a time left with somebody that they didn't come with. Right? So I see the same. He gonna ride with Randall.
That's what he did in the playoffs, Mike.
Where it's gonna be detrimental to Obi. So at 5 years, 117 million, I believe for the right deal, we could be looking at him going elsewhere too.
Oh my God, man. And on that note, we have come to the end of this week's show. Word up, man. Shout out to Project Nerd, man. Shout out to Jay Remy. Shout out to all,
man. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Shout out to Mike Ray, always showing love, man. Don't forget, man, this Sunday, Bars and Hoops Radio, our 200th episode, man. We going to be in the building. I got a lot of special invited guests coming through. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a good old time, man. 3-hour special, man. It's going to be a good look, man.
Still, you know we going to be there about
yes,
4 hours. Who you kidding?
Yeah, I know, man. I gotta make sure I get some burn to the other shows. You know what I'm saying? But now we gonna be there. We gonna have fun, man. So hopefully everybody can tune in. Shout out to everybody that tuned in on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that tuned in live on Bars and Hoops Radio, man. And everybody out there on Facebook checking in. We appreciate you. So fellas, next week, same time, we can do this again. You know what I mean? Shout out to Project Nerd. Shout out to For the Love of the Game podcast. Shout out to Hard Will. He got another gig over there too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mike Ray. Mike, make sure you're there Sunday, bro. I appreciate you, King.
You know how we do.
All right. So, fellas, on that note, man, Still's the great Hard Will signing off. Till next week. Peace.
Great show, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Knicks Talk Nation with your host, Steals the Great, live on Bars and Hoops Radio.
New York City, we back. The Big Apple, NY. The Knicks are back. Staten Mellow. This dedicated to my city, New York. Official kings in the court. Reach with a ball, a hard lesson gets taught. So bring your skills to the nearest playground. No clown around. Catch a helmet in a minute on a New York playground. The Big Apple's what they call it for short. And basketball is our sport. We play for keeps and never settle for sure. So bring your game when you come to my town. We snatch and crowd. You get embarrassed on the court after you shook to the ground. You get respected when you prove to get down. So say the joke for the clowns. And NYC, we known to go a few rounds. This is a city where you're forced to go hard. You'll get booed out of Dodge and shown the door being the weakest on squads. Rucker Park and summer nights they stay live. Brothers play for the pride and bragging rights on who's the king of NY. So grab the pill and prepare to go hard. Pick your 12-man squad. Orange and blue better believe we go hard. This for my city, New York, New York City where it's gritty. Yeah. For my city, never pretty. New York City, sing it with me. Yeah. For my city, New York City where it's gritty. NYC, for my city, never pretty. Yeah. New York City, sing